Yeah. Awesome.
Been
Awesome
killing it
day.
today.
Yeah, we really have.
It sure makes it easy when all of your guests are lined out for you.
Yeah.
Scheduled.
I really can get the hang of that.
Yes. Like you said, we need a handler. No doubt about it. It seems to work in our favor. All right. We've got Stephanie and Andreas with us. Stephanie, if you would real quick, just name who you're with and what you do.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. My name's Stephanie Michaud. I'm director of our product management team, specifically for field software within field systems with Trimble.
With Trimble. Perfect. Andreas.
Yeah, my name is Andreas Sinning. I'm responsible within Trimble for two parts. One is track survey and scanning business. That's a little bit a niche market. And since 1.5 years, I'm responsible for the cloud strategy within geospatial.
Okay. So how do your two roles overlap?
Well, I mean, if you have data in the field and then it needs to go somewhere else, it's going to go through the cloud if you're not using a USB stick, which we're trying to increasingly encourage people to move away from
Yeah.
and using cloud-based ways of moving your data.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we take the data and then we see what we can do with the data and share it with all the participants in the project.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So what has changed since the last time we talked? Like what advancements or evolution has happened when it comes to managing this data?
Yeah, I mean, when we think about like the functionality you can have in the field now, I mean, of course, we're always working to bring more integrity and fidelity to the data you have in the field, but in the form of using 3D models and actually being able to interact with that. And so with the refresh we just did in our controller portfolio, now you also have the processing power to work and leverage those models. But, you know, you don't also, if the information stays in the field, then you don't get to the part of actually creating deliverables. And so now we're at the point where we've got the power with the devices in the field. We have capability to work with very complicated data in the field, but we need to send it back to the office too for deliverable creation. So we're at a point where surveyors are really having to evolve from not just doing the surveying and data capture, but to really being data organizers and managers. So we're giving them that power to do so in the field and make more decisions.
Quick question. Do you think surveyors are capable of being data managers and data processors?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
Don't fall for that. Don't fall.
Key this game.
So Andreas, talk about just the importance of streamlining these workflows and how it affects, your side of the house and, the folks you work with.
Yeah, I just to complete what Stephanie said, I think what significantly changed was the acceptance of cloud solutions nowadays. So the CDE, the common data environment, becomes a central component of every project. So the companies have now one platform where they can safely and accessible bring the data together. And that's where the field part comes into the game, that we in both directions. So first of all, we have a central point for all the design data which goes into the field. So a single point of truth, that's a key component here.
Really critical. Yeah.
And we take the data back from the field so that we also have the data which are just collected, live streamed into the cloud and gets accessible for all participants in a project.
So you mentioned another acronym, CDE. Talk about that. Just expand on that just a little bit more.
Andreas.
Yeah, I can take this. It comes from the earlier days from the buildings industry, when it's really about have one place where you store and share the data, where you get this one single truth that you have a design, and you want to make sure that this design is used by everybody on the construction site. That's not the one is using version 1, next is version 2, and probably then after you finish the first part, you go back with an older release of a design. This cannot happen if you have a CDE in place in the right configuration.
Yeah, one of the challenges that we hear from field crews is just that the uncertainty. They might show up on a field and be like, do I have the most current data for this project? And so having a CDE means that you're able to know with certainty that you have the right data for that day. And if it changes, you will get the update of when that's changing too.
So what role does Trimble Connect play in?
I mean, really connecting.
It just connects everything together, right?
As the name implies,
Yeah.
connects.
As the name implies, exactly.
Everything together. Gotcha. Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges with getting all of those people to adopt into this model of one CDE and everyone uses it?
That's difficult to say because it's already executed and accepted. It's more a project decision. So if you have a project and you are the owner of the project, you decide that it will get used.
Okay.
And of course, you have, as it is always with newer technology, the adoption needs to go through the industry, takes a while. But what we clearly can see that the benefit becomes so visible that the
Sure.
acceptance increases rapidly.
Where do you think we are in that evolution of people
Depends-
adopting?
Depends on where in the world you're looking at this. It started, I would say, in the Nordic countries.
Okay.
So from an international footprint, and it started in the buildings industry first because it's a little bit easier to handle. It's from the geometry, it's easier. And it moves now more and more into the infrastructure industry as
Got it.
well, and in other parts of the world.
Yeah, and I think a challenge too is just organizationally, right? Like we hear from some of our customers who are like, okay, on a project level, I want to have this level of control, but then on an enterprise, I want to have different settings or control. And so depending on how you run your business, you may choose to do it from an enterprise or from a project level. But regardless, it's the business adapting to how much standardization do they want to have, how much also flexibility do you want to have for people in the field. So I think there's a lot of, I mean, it's really, we try and give flexibility for both sides of the spectrum.
And that's a little bit also the challenge that the larger companies are adopting earlier. The smaller ones are usually a little bit behind.
So do you have like any, do you have any like real world statistics, like companies that are utilizing this to its fullest extent are experiencing this kind of return on investment of some sort?
So I don't have statistics in a way that I can tell you what percentage of companies are using how many projects is using. We know that I think more than 45 million of registered users we have on Connect, which is really a massive amount. And I think we are talking about 1 million per month really actively using the system.
That's kind of sad though, right? It's kind of sad because how many million did you say? Like
more than 45 million
but only
registered
only
users.
1 million are using it actively.
Actively.
Yeah, that's a
It's-
shame because it has so much to offer. Like, how do you engage these other 43 million users?
Well, what's the expectation is maybe some of them aren't everyday users and maybe they only need access for,
Exactly,
one
exactly.
project or to pop in and make sure, we have the latest and greatest.
Think about a typical project where you have the ones using it every day on a project. And then you have authorities or project owners
Mhm.
which look on this maybe every second month or seldom, but they are active. For us, they are also active Connect users. So therefore the number is really promising.
So what's a good use case, I guess, like a typical project? What does that look like if everybody is using Trimble Connect?
And I think if you think about when you're setting up your project, you have you're setting up your coordinate system, your user permissions, if there's existing control files, if you're bringing in a model to work with, you're bringing all this data and you're setting up your project and determining who has what level of access and permissions in the field. And so one of the things that we see a lot with Trimble Access is that, and some of the changes we made just recently in the product are enabling you to bring all of those standard settings when you open that job on your controller, right? So really trying to make sure that you don't have to think about it too much. If you've been assigned that project, everything comes down. It's up to date. You have all the information that you need as well to get started really quickly. And so that's really trying to limit the time it takes to get started on your job.
And is that how you've seen surveyors be more productive in the field? It's, like they're not running in between points and in the data collection part, but is it just all that setup and understanding of what they need?
Yeah, and it's also understanding and knowing like once you've actually completed the work that needed to be done for the day. So,
Mm.
I mean, often there's a lot of iterations between field and office. And so by having this visibility, you know, when you leave and you finish your job for the day, you have that confidence that you captured what you needed to actually have that job well done.
Just one comment here is you reduce the errors. So when you go in the field,
Important.
have the right coordinate system already set. When you have the right feature code list with you, because it's defined in the project, and you have your job prepared in the field, that reduce the amount of errors.
And I'm sure the amount of what do you call them when we have to go back the next day because they forgot to pick up something or they did something wrong and the client's not paying for it, but we still have to go back to the site. I'm sure those instances go way down.
The rework is,
Yeah.
I mean, no one wants to have to spend extra time moonlighting in the evening, like trying to make up for time that, you know, you really could have done moving on to your next job, right? So we're really trying to get to the point where there's visibility when it's completed, but then also getting to that deliverable faster so you can get that moving on to the next job.
That's a nice feature. What we have in the field data extension today is that you get immediate visibility of what you have measured. So a survey manager in the office can see what is measured today and can control the work in the field.
It's not sitting on, like you said, the USB stick that next week you'll get around to getting that in and figuring out what was done. It's in real time, right?
So
And it's also just like really practical things too, right? Like when we look at like the amount of data you think of on a controller that you could have from multiple jobs or project sites, you know, over the weeks and months that adds up. So also being able to, you know, when you officially close a job and, you know, you're able to look at, okay, let's archive those files. They're still there in Connect, but, you know, you don't have to have them all in your device. So freeing up space for you to move on. And also, so you're not scrolling and searching endlessly for the right piece.
yeah, so and like, you know, we've talked a lot today about digital twins and reality capture and that type thing. So like Trimble Connect brings this all together to the point where it's almost like a living, breathing asset, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're looking in your project data, you know, we don't want to have it be separate for your survey data, your reality capture data, your GIS data. It should be one location where you can see all of that. So regardless of what product or sensor you use to capture that, it's located in the same place in Connect.
Yeah, that's something you can do over the whole lifetime of a project. So we have the whole history, the whole bandwidth of information in the whole project. So it goes also into the maintenance and operational phase. It does not end at the
End of construction.
yeah.
Interesting. So where's this going? I mean, are we all, where are you guys at in this cycle? Just trying to get more and more users and more adopters and make this universal? Or is there another iteration next that's going to make it even better?
Oh, definitely. I mean, from my side, looking at field software, right, we have a lot of different products that do different specific jobs for different customer types. And so I want to make sure that no matter if you're a Trimble customer, regardless of your field software product, your data goes into the same place and is interoperable across those different products.
I want that too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, every time when I talk to customers, they're like, it's Trimble, it should just work. And so that's my mission on the field side is that, yeah, if you're doing a scan in perspective, if you have your control files and access, you should be able to move those back and forth.
How do you protect like the data security and the integrity of the data? How do you guys protect that?
So first of all, with having this in a cloud environment, you can establish a quite safe environment around this. So we are using Azure and AWS cloud technology with all the core technology behind this. So when you upload a new version of a file, you automatically store and tag the old. So always know exactly when which file was uploaded and by whom it was uploaded. So this integrity is a key component of a CDE.
Interesting. You got something there?
No, go
Are
ahead.
you pondering?
No, I'm pondering, but go ahead.
So let's look ahead 5 years from now. You know, how do you guys envision the balance between automation, cloud collaboration, and the human component of the entire process? What do you think that's going to look like?
I think I go back to, your comment, do you think surveyors are ready to be more data organizers? And I think absolutely, they also need the bandwidth to be able to do that. And so when I think about like deliverable creation, some of those, like, I think in the keynote we had this morning talking about like, how can we repetitive tasks, is there a way that we can automate those just to free up bandwidth so that the people can do different tasks like data management?
Oh yeah, that's the last thing I would think I want to do at the end of a long day of, okay, now I got to get my files organized. And that's probably what the kind of the problem is, right? But if it doesn't take as long, then there you go.
Yeah, and from the cloud side, we definitely want to provide tools to analyze the data in a better way. So we just recently released the capability when you ingest point cloud data that they automatically get classified using AI. So
Okay.
that's really helpful because you get much quicker to your result. If you just by click, I only need the ground because I need a volume information. One click, no manual work anymore. And that's where I see really, okay, AI, everybody's talking about AI, okay. But our job is here really to make it usable for our customers. So in the whole workflow, it's not just because we want to talk about AI, it's really to get the functionality behind this. And that goes all over. That goes into the field, that goes into the cloud and the office.
Fantastic.
One last question. What do you think the hurdles are, or what surveyors are classically stubborn? Let's just say it. And I'm sure you've been, as you talk to people, they say, yeah, that sounds good, but like, what do you think those hurdle, what do you have to overcome to get everyone to adopt in this space?
First of all, you're right. I would also say that a traditional surveyor is very conservative. So it needs really to take them on the journey and help them. I think Stephanie with the field systems, she's in a good position because they need definitely her software in the field.
Right.
For the cloud, but it's often a little bit more challenging, and we have some of resistance, but the people are really critical about using cloud solutions depending on where and how it's used. And this is something where we have to work towards that we get this accepted.
Yeah, we rely on surveyors to perform a really essential role of like the source of truth for the foundation of a lot of our infrastructure, right? And I highly respect the profession for the role it plays in the building of our world. And so when we release this functionality, the team as a whole is really looking to make sure that we can continue to build that trust in that we understand the severity of the role that they're playing, and how the cornerstone of that part of building the next level of our infrastructure. And so for me, I think when we introduce something, it's got to be bomb proof.
Good point. Yeah.
I'm not going to put something out there that is going to be buggy or half complete, right? And so, because if you only get one chance to make a good first impression,
Right,
and if someone's willing to finally take and try something new, it's got to be the right fit. So we spend a lot of time working with beta, with customers to make sure that we're getting it right when it comes out.
And what helps us a lot is the younger generation. They push us.
Oh yeah, because they're easier adopters, I'm sure. Yeah.
I just want to point out, she referred to surveyors as the source of truth.
I heard it. I didn't disagree.
Just pointing that out.
She also knows where her bread is buttered,
Does. What else? You guys got anything else you want to get out there?
Oh,
We covered a lot. It was great.
No, that was, I think, a good overview about what we are doing.
Yeah.
Of course, we can go further to the left and to the right. I can extend the cloud to the design phase, where it starts usually with, and even the surveyor is there even before, because without a coordinate system, I would not like to start a project.
Right.
And it's often also the last one when it's about the final as built. So it's a wide coverage what we
If people are curious and they want to dive in more, how can they find out more info?
Of course, through our website. But I mean, what I will point you to, we are doing a lot more work in video media as well on new features. So yeah, our help portal also links a lot of those things together. So if you're looking for more information, we also have a lot of great sessions here this week too.
Awesome. Cool. Well said. Great to meet you.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah. Good to
seeing
see
you
you
again.
again.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.